talk about surface area of pyramids and surface area of cones. Last two formulas of the chapter. Again, we're not going to worry about lateral area. Okay? Just going to focus on surface area. So, surface area for a pyramid, we're going to follow this formula. Capital B plus capital P times cursive L divided by 2. Okay? So let's talk about what those mean. Capital B, what does capital B mean? Area of the base. Yep. Okay, we know what capital P means. What does that mean?
Perimeter.
Of what?
Base.
Yep, perimeter of the base. And then we have this new one here, cursive L. I want to talk about something real quick though. What do we normally have in the formula that we don't have? Height. We normally have height. Okay, this time we have cursive L. That's just another height, but it's slant height to be specific. So that cursive L means slant height. Okay, think of a pyramid. What does slant height mean? It's up the side. Yep, normal height was from the center of the base up to the top. Slant height is from the side up to the top. Okay, so that's what our slant height is. Questions about the formula and the different pieces? Okay? Okay. Let's apply it to this example here. So again, we're following surface area equals capital B plus P times L divided by 2. So let's find capital B. What does capital B stand for? Area of the base. What is my base shape? It's a square. The base shape is a square. Okay. They should have put an 8 there. How do I find the area of a rectangle or a square? Length times width, or I'm going to say base times height. What is the base and the height of that shape that I just shaded? 8 and 8. Yep, 8 times 8 is 64. So we found capital B. What should we find next? Yep, work left to right. Let's find the perimeter. How do I find the perimeter of my base?
It's 8.
That's one side length, but how do I find the perimeter all the way around? Yep. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. 32. And then what's the last thing we need? Slant height. What is the slant height? 8.9. Yep. Remember, slant height, it goes up the side of the pyramid to the top. Okay, we have everything. Now we're going to plug it in. Be careful when you plug it in. So we have 64 for the capital B. And then we have 32 and 8.9 divided by 2. What needs to happen first? Yep, on this top part here. We're really going to do this whole top part first. So we're going to ignore the 64 for now. So take 32 times 8.9.
284.
Okay, good. 284.8. What's next? Divide by 2. So we have 64, bless you, plus 142.4. And then what would our last step be? Add 64 at the end. What'd you get? Yep, 0.4. And what would my label be for surface area? Feet squared. Yep. Okay. So, some misconceptions that happen sometimes are we think the whole thing is divided by 2. Is that true? No. This is the only part that is divided by 2. You ignore the base until the end. Okay, so make sure the perimeter and the slant height are the only thing that's getting divided by 2. So you take care of this section first before you move on. Capiche? All right. Any questions with surface area of a pyramid? Okay. What would be the only thing that changes if it was a triangular base? Right. The capital B, the area of the base, that would change. Okay. One formula, last formula of the chapter. Are you excited? Okay. Again, we're not focusing on lateral area. Surface area of cones. With non-polyhedron so far, first off, what's a non-polyhedron? circle base, right? With those, have they been easier or harder? Why?
Because you just have to multiply all them together once you find.
Less to do because why? No edges. What are the two different pieces that you have to know? The height and the radius, right? Those are the only two things you have to know, and normally aren't they given to you? Yes, okay? So surface area of a cone is pi r times r plus L. Again, what does R stand for? Radius. What's L stand for? The slant height, right? It's not the normal height, it's the slant height up the side of the cone. Okay? So, still think radius and height, but this time it's just slant height. So look at an example. So we have pi r times r plus L. What is the definition of a radius? How do you know where the radius is? Half the diameter. What's the diameter? The length of the circle. So for the radius, you're always going to look for the circle. Okay? You're going to get the radius from the circle. In this case, do they give us the radius? Yes. So radius is 3.5. What is the slant height? 10. Yep. 10 is up the side. Do we need to do anything else before we plug it in? No. Plug it right in. So we have pi times 3.5. Just make sure you plug them into the correct spots. 3.5 plus 10. Okay, what needs to happen first before you plug it all into your calculator? Which parentheses? The addition, right? This has to happen first. What's 3.5 plus 10? Yep. Now what do I do with all three of those values? Multiply them in your calculator. So you take pi times 3.5 times 13.5. What did you get? Yes, and then surface area label is feet squared. Good. Awesome. Questions about surface area of a cone? Okay, just make sure you add this part first before you start multiplying things in your calculator. Okay?